good she looks. What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, guys, we are kicking off the build series on the new 2021 Can-Am Outlander XMR 850. Now, guys, as you know, these XMRs, they already pretty much come out, fully built. But, there is a ton of things that you can add or better on the machine. You can do wheels and tires, you can do an exhaust, you can tune the machine, you can do a whole bunch of mess and a whole bunch of things to it. But what we are doing today, boys, we are adding a snorkel riser to the 850. If you guys remember from my Outback video, there was a ton of times where the water was literally up to right here. I mean, maybe 2 to 3 inches away from my snorkel pipes. So to me, boys, that is a big must. That is a big thing that we gotta do, and it's gonna be the first mod that we do on the new ATV. And you guys, we actually don't have a name for the new unit, guys. So if you guys do have any good, awesome recommendations, leave them down in the comments, boys, because we have a new four-wheeler, we need a new name for it, and honestly, I have no idea what to name it. So going back to the video, guys, there's tons of snorkel risers on the market. There's Triangle ATV, there's Snorkel Your Own ATV, snorkel risers. You can even do your own snorkel PVC risers, guys. But I don't know, I'm not a big fan of it. I mean, the machine, it looks so good and it looks so clean. And to me, it would just ruin it to just add, ugly PVC pipes. And don't get me wrong, the snorkels on the ATV, they're already pretty freaking high. Let me show you. Alright, so before, right here, you guys, we have the CVT intake, which right here, right behind the rad, right in the middle of this gauge pod, right around here is the air intake, and on this side is the CVT exhaust. So don't get me wrong, guys, they are pretty high, relatively right around the key section of the bike, but they can be bettered. So we're gonna do a quick unboxing, guys. We have all the things that we need to snorkel this thing up, and I'm gonna show you guys just what I went with. When I say that there are tons of snorkel options on the market, there is. And I actually did my research on this one, and it got a lot of hate. A lot of people actually didn't like this snorkel option at all. To me, I want to keep it as clean as possible and good looking as possible. So let me show you what we got. All right, unboxing time, boys. First unboxing on the channel. Let's open this up. All right. So guys, in the box, take out the wrapping, take out the instructions. We are going with the OEM Can-Am Outlander snorkel riser. So guys, a lot of people don't like this kit for one big reason. Now, you can get them relatively cheap. It's only about maybe, let's say like $100 on eBay, but a lot of people don't like it because it actually only raises the air intake. Now, yes, I get what you're saying. Well, what's the point of that? It's only gonna raise up the air intake. Your CVT belt and intake are still gonna be low. Well, the thing is, most of the time you're in a water wheelie, but just in case for an emergency, you have, because it's easy to get the water out of the belt. You have a plug at the bottom by your belt box. It's not so easy getting the water out of your motor. Now, in my opinion, I don't really care. I think it looks super duper good. And like I said, it's mostly for protection of my own self. The only thing with this, you guys, whenever you are doing an Outlander snorkel pod horn for the Outlanders, the only issue is that if you have an XMR version, you're gonna need a new gauge support. So that is exactly what we got. We got a new gauge support, for the gauge, obviously. But you might be asking why. Well, if you have an XMR, you have a hole on the left side for your CVT intake and a hole on the right side for your exhaust. So the thing with this, whenever you put on the new one, which actually it's gonna sit just like this, you're gonna see half of the hole cut out for the CVT intake side, which honestly doesn't even matter because it doesn't even have the CVT intake right here. It has it up behind the rad. Which in reality, guys, it actually doesn't even matter whether you leave the hole or get a new gauge pod, because in reality, there's nothing there. It's not gonna damage anything. But if you're like me and you wanna have things looking right and looking good, you're gonna want a new one of these. And in the bag, you guys, since we are bringing up our air intake, we are gonna wanna run up our vent lines all the way to the top. Even though it's only gonna be like 3 or 4 inches more, it's best to keep it up just in case something does go south and we end up going a little bit deeper than we want. All right, guys, this is all that you need to raise up your air intake. We're doing, like I said, the OEM horn for the Outlanders. We need vent line tubing. We need the little adapters for the vent lines to raise it up, and we need the new gauge support. Now, with this kit, guys, like I said, you can just order it off of eBay. It's only about $100, but Big shout out to Iron Horse. They actually got it to me quicker for a better price and a whole lot cheaper. You can just order it from eBay, but you might just be better off just checking in with your dealer. They might be able to get you a better price and faster shipping. And this kit does come complete, guys. It does come with the hose clamps, the rivets, and everything that you need. So to get this started, guys, we are gonna have to take off the factory OEM gauge support and cluster. Now, to make it as simple as possible for you guys, you're gonna start off by taking your seat off and setting it off to the side. Next thing you're gonna wanna do, guys, you're gonna wanna take off the cover that's covering your air intake. Just grab onto this little handle looking like thing, pull up, and this comes right off. Now just set that off right here in the middle, and then we're gonna get started on the gauge support. This is probably the hardest one, in my opinion, is actually taking off the physical factory gauge support. It is so hard. I mean, I had so much trouble with it, but in reality, the truth is you just gotta yank on it until it pops off, guys. There's no easy way. You're gonna wanna undo the front end of it first. Make sure that it's popped up. You're gonna grab one hand here, one in the front, and pop it up. Let me show you. There's no easy way to do this, but you're gonna wanna put your hand right here, pop it up right here, put your hand right here, and just pull on it until it literally just pries up. It feels like it's gonna break, but it's not. And that's it, you got it off. Now right in here, guys, you have a cable for the display with the red pop tab. You're gonna wanna do that, push it, and pull it out. Now once that's off, guys, you're exposed to everything, and we know we can get started and swapping the clusters from this factory one to the new one. Now, so I can give you guys a better look, this is where your factory snorkel riser is if you have an XMR, which is honestly, it's pretty high. It's pretty freaking high. But with the new horn, it's gonna go pretty much right in the same spot as this one, like this, and it's gonna raise it, I'd say about a solid 7 inches or so. And what's cool about Can-Am, guys, they actually made the cutout for this tube to fit perfectly in here. So, you know, Can-Am, you know, maybe it doesn't come with this horn from factory, but they actually thought about the customers and, you know, they make it a little bit easier. To start tearing it more apart, guys, you're gonna wanna pull this up just a little bit, get to the hose clamp, undo it, pull the factory snorkel intake off, and then we're gonna be able to get to the vent lines to raising them to the new height of the new air intake. So I pulled it off. It is honestly super duper simple. There's a factory intake snorkel. They actually, the hardware, they does come with new hose clamps, but you can honestly just use the factory one. You know, it's the same size tubing, everything is the same. I mean, it's direct from Can-Am. So you're gonna put the factory hose clamp on it. You can use the new hardware if you want. You're gonna literally just put it into position, stick it on, and that is it, guys. For $100, which, you know, and it does sound a little bit pricey, but for $100, you can have the cleanest new snorkel riser setup that is factory from Can-Am. Once you have the new snorkel riser on, guys, you're gonna wanna make sure and tighten this, because at the end of the day, it does have to be watertight. So you wanna be safe, make sure it's nice and tight, fit it right, and then we're gonna do the vent lines and bring them up those 4 to 5 inches to match the new snorkel intake. All right, you guys, so we ran out the vent lines. I was actually able to use the old factory vent lines on 2 of them since they were pretty long. The other ones had extended just a tiny little bit. So we ran those up. Next thing to do is we have to take off, whoa. We have to take this apart, take apart the digital display that's on this to put onto the new one. We have to undo these T24 Torx bits in the 4 corners, popping the tray off, and then we'll be able to pop off the display. So you pop off the tray, then to pop this display off, you literally just pop it from the inside to the outside. Just pop the bottom of it and it literally comes right out. So we're gonna put this on the new one. Let's put this to the side. Now there is one key thing that you are gonna wanna take off, because the new one actually does not have them, is these right here, the screw holders for the Torx bits. You're gonna wanna pop these off, and you can actually just pop these off very easily with a screwdriver. So the reason you're gonna need a new gauge support, guys, is because on top, just imagine this without a hole. This is the brand new one that didn't have a hole. The factory XMR, this is only gonna apply to you if you have an XMR and you're doing the snorkel riser. The XMR has a hole on the left side for the CVT exhaust and a hole on the right side for the intake. But the thing is, the intake is not here anymore. It's up here behind the rad, and then the exhaust is actually right here, but it's rerouted to exit down out of this area, which exits out about here. So in reality, you need a new one, not for the intake or the exhaust. You actually just need a new one so you can make a big, huge hole just like this one, so your new snorkel intake can slide up right through it whenever you put the new one on. So it's gonna look pretty much like this, guys. Now you might say, well, what about the hole? Well, that's where this comes in. You're actually gonna rivet this on, and when you do, you won't even be able to tell the hole is there. So this is pretty much kind of like a mock-up before we, we rivet it on, before we bolt it on or anything, It gives you that nice horn, kind of like a Renegade, and it's gonna give you that good 5 to 6 inches of height versus the stock one, which is completely awesome. Now, once you've made the new hole for the new gauge support, Can-Am actually sells a printout that you can print from home to tape onto this to make the hole for the new snorkel pipe. But me, I didn't really care to print it out. I just made a hole big enough for it to fit. Like I said, either way, this is gonna be covered by this right here, so you won't even be able to tell. The kit does come with hose clamps that we didn't use, but it does come with 4 rivets. One that goes on this side on the right side, left side, and then 2 that go on the back. So once that's riveted on, we're actually just gonna get the gauge, slap this back on, and literally we're done. You just slap everything back together and your snorkel is completely done. Now, as for that being the first time that I've ever used a rivet gun, it came out pretty clean, pretty freaking solid. That's exactly why I didn't show you guys how to use it, because honestly, I don't know how to use it. But this is what a rivet gun is, guys. You can actually pick this up from Harbor Freight for like $5. This is just one that we had at the house, but you will need this for this sort of application, or honestly, you can just just use self-tappers or something. But once you have both of these together, you move on. Now you just pop in the gauge, guys. You just put this in from the front. Make sure it lines up right. You just grab it, push it in, and that's it. She's on. You're gonna put the protecting shroud back on. Nice BRP. Put it back on. And that is it, boys. You're gonna grab it once it's all assembled. You're gonna grab the connector that goes into the gauge to actually power it. You're gonna connect it, read you the red tab, slide it up through the middle, through the hole. Make sure everything's aligning. And I think that's it. You just snap it on. Yup, she's on, boys. So easy. You put this cover back on. You tuck away the wire. You snap this on. And you won't need this. Put your seat back on. Grab this. Put it all away. And that's it. Woo, look at that, boys. Now we're actually gonna bring it out to the sunlight just to get a better view of it. But this is what I meant. Now you can have something like this where, yeah, it doesn't bring up your CVT intake or your exhaust, but this is completely factory. Can-Am designed this. Can-Am made this to, go with the Outlander. So why wouldn't you go with what looks best? And what's also cool about this kit, it comes with 2 little Can-Am stickers that go right on the side, which are yellow, which will match the 850 so perfect. So we're gonna slap those on. We're actually gonna start it, take it outside, and make sure that it works. And that is it, you guys. It looks so freaking good. But like I said, there's like ups and downs to this unit, guys. I do like that, it looks kind of and it resembles a Renegade snorkel. But at the same time, yeah, of course, I would like for, the intake to be a little bit higher and also to exhaust. But it's like a trade-off, you don't get the performance so much, but you get the looks. To a lot of people, it could matter, but to me, honestly, it doesn't really matter, guys. Because like I said, most of the time, my front end is out of the water anyways. So it's mostly just for precaution, just to be careful. Oh, and let's actually put the stickers on it. I'm not gonna lie, I almost forgot. And these are actually like really nice feeling stickers. So pull off the 3M. And, oh, you only get one try. You only get one try. Do this right. Do this right. Do this right. There we go, boys. Got one side done. We have the second side done. And there is the finished product, boys. Woo! That looks so freaking good. Like I said, you guys, there's ups and downs to this kit. Honestly, I'd go for it. It's clean, it's Can-Am, it's under warranty still, and it looks super freaking good. Now, you guys, we're gonna end off the video here. Like I said, there's so many things that we can do to this thing, you know, and stay tuned. If you're not subscribed, if you haven't liked this video, go ahead, drop down a like, subscribe, and hit the bell, you guys, because there is so many good new things that we're gonna do to this thing. I think I'm the only bigger YouTube channel with a 2021 Can-Am Outlander XMR 850 with a new diff lock up front. And guys, if you're not subscribed, like I said, go ahead, do yourself the solid, subscribe, like this video, and hit the bell, because we have so many plans for this thing. We're definitely gonna get new tires for it eventually. We're definitely gonna get a new exhaust for it as well. Maybe tune it. I forgot to put that away. But there's so many plans for this thing, and there's so many things that we have to do to it. Me personally, I love it, and if you guys are liking it too, make sure to drop it down in the comments. Let me know what you think of the unit, and tell me what we got to do to it, guys. You tell me what your suggestions are and what you think we should do to the new 2021, guys. Stay tuned, because we have a whole bunch of upgrades and things to do to this thing, and a whole bunch of testing, because, you know, I'm hoping that new snorkel riser is good and sealed tight. But we're gonna have to test it on the next ride, guys. If you guys did like the video, make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed, and hit the bell. Tons of fire content coming, guys, and remember who did it first. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you boys on the next one.